Righty, so we are joined on two ends of the world today. My name is Brady. I am the owner of Inner Strength Check podcast, and joining me today, two very illustrious Finns indeed, Tommy and Jan from Finland's Amorphis. How are you guys?
Very good. Enjoying the summer. It's like 30 Celsius degrees now in Finland, so it's extremely hot in
Wow.
Finland. And we have off summer, no gigs, so having a break, so we can just enjoying the summer and charging the batteries for the autumn.
Yeah. You guys have got a significant run of dates. I saw you starting in Stuttgart, yeah, the 10th of October, and you guys are basically going all the way through to 70,000 tons of metal in January. You look pretty booked out on your website.
Yeah, it's good to hit the road again. As Tommy
Mm.
said, we've been taking a break because we're doing the album. So there's still a few months to sit on our asses, but we finally get on tour. So what we do, and it's great to get back finally playing live, and we get to play the new material too, which is kind of exciting. So
It's nice that it's lined up for you guys like that, that you've been able to, organize it so that you've got the album release and then being hammered with a million questions by people like me, and then
yeah.
taking a bit of summer off and then going on tour. So you guys took a bit more of an extended break for writing Borderlands, from what I hear, or from live shows.
Well, we didn't take any break before the album session.
Mm.
I think we had a last show of Halo tour like 1 week before we're heading to studio, or 2 weeks or whatever.
Wow.
But uh, uh, but after that, this is like unusual to us to have a break. If you don't count the COVID time, which was like forced break.
Mm.
This is like first time I think in I don't know how many years, 20 years, then we are having like a 9 months break from
Mm.
touring. But it's odd in a way, but same time I think it's just grows the motivation to get to the road again. And at least I'm waiting for that very much.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
guys have had a really consistent cycle of releases, especially like in the last, it's almost like you guys are accelerating, if anything, instead of slowing down with time.
well, I don't know. It's been usually like 3 years cycles between albums or so,
Mm, mm,
more or less. So it's been fairly the same.
mm,
Over the past years, 10 years, 15 years, really. And well, that seems to work for us, because
mm.
it's the 2, 3 years cycle for touring is usually what it takes to actually cover the whole globe. And
Yeah.
uh, and then obviously there's no more territories to tour, so then you have to go back in the studio and produce the new record. So that seems to work for us, and it's kind of yeah, of course it's busy because it's touring between and then
Mm,
recording stuff, and obviously it's good to have a little bit time off like we had now. But yeah, it's usually like that. It's not too busy to my opinion, though. I mean, like 3 years
mm,
between album seems reasonable for us.
mm. Very consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like clockwork.
Yeah. Very organized, much more organized than us Aussies usually are. So
Yeah.
speaking of the album, so been lucky enough to have a sneak peek listen, one of the job perks, even though this is not a paid gig. And it's got to say, just my feedback, it's fantastic. Bit of a tease for everybody else. One of the things I sort of noticed, especially with Bones. How's the reception from on your end? You guys released a really cool like brooding music video for Bones just recently off the new album. Have you guys been finding the reception in general from so far from fans, from the public, from Light and Shadow and Bones?
Well, so far I haven't heard like the not too many people have heard the whole album.
Mm,
So I'm still excited about the what fans are gonna like it and the reviews and things like that. But so far these two singles has been the response has been very good. Like what I've been reading from the YouTube and stuff like that. They are very different kind of songs, of course. So I
Mm.
think there's pro Bones people and pro Light and Shadow people, and some of them likes the both. And so I think
Mm.
there's are like two sides. We always have this crawling side of Amorphis and the more tender.
Yeah,
if
yeah. And Light and Shadow is kind of that more tender side, whereas Bones is a bit more like hard hitting, I guess to say, out of the two, and a bit more sort of brooding as well. And I'm gonna butcher his pronunciation. Apologies in advance. Santeri? Santeri?
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it was mentioned that that song was actually driven by the keys in terms of writing, which is interesting.
Yeah, I
Which
think
one? Both.
Bones. Yeah, I
Mm,
think he said that he wanted to. He always feels like people are expecting keyboard player to just play some or compose some like nice melodies, and he wanted to do it like a heavy song this time as well. So yeah,
nice. Well, it turned out well, and it's got quite a like almost it's got like a very Middle Eastern feel to it, that track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of a little bit reminds me of, it's sort of like our song "Death of a King" has a lot of similar elements to it, sort
Yeah.
of like 16 hi-hat patterns and oriental melodies and sort of slow tempo, sort of a banger track. So yeah, but it's kind of typical for us, to implement those kind of ideas and also
Mm.
rhythmic. It's a lot of like percussion and stuff like that, which is also similar to some of the past tracks, perhaps.
Mm, mm. And I think that keys have always been such a like a heavy feature with you guys, but even yourself, Jan, if I'm not mistaken, you actually played keys earlier on in the piece
Well
with
played.
Amorphis.
Yeah. I mean, like,
human
yeah,
voice,
yeah,
best
yeah.
album.
Just
But you can play.
one finger, and maybe a chord, a minor chord or something. So yeah, I don't know if you can really describe that as playing, but yeah, I tried my best, but yeah, I figured I'm not much of a keyboard player after all, though.
Well, it sounds like you're enjoying the drums.
Well, I am. Yeah,
Mm,
that's what can play the best of all instruments I play. So
mm.
might as well do that. Yeah.
And in terms of how things look, because you guys have, I recently just on Monday actually interviewed Halloween, and they have 7 members. You guys have 6 members. There's quite a lot going on rhythmically, sonically with your sound, and Borderlands is much like your other stuff. It's very layered. I'm curious to kind of hear from both of you guys. How do you work out kind of all the different, all putting all those layers together? Like, how does that sort of shape out for you in terms of songwriting?
Well, I
I
think
think.
it's
Oh,
yeah.
oh right. You go first.
We've we've been playing together so many years. So
Yeah,
like with Jan, I've been actually played since I was 12 years old or something.
yeah.
So I think it's just like natural. I
Mm,
feel like I know instantly what what uh, what's my space in the like sound field and what's
mm,
Esas, what's Santeris, and so on. So I guess it starts from there. I'm not like going too much outside of that, and I think other guys are maybe thinking the same. I don't know, but
mm,
I think it's like natural space for each of us. That's how I
mm,
feel.
Yeah, I feel the same. It's like me and Tommy and Oppo usually lay down the foundation for Esa and Santeri to paint over their things, and I think it sort of developed as an sort of unique amorphous sound over the years, and like I don't think we have to think about it too much, these days because it just comes naturally, and that's the way of we tend to compose music, and it's just the way it is, I guess.
mm, mm. Do you ever get sort of surprised in the songwriting process? Like, because it's so natural and organic. Like, was there anything around during the writing process for Borderlands, for instance, where you guys went, oh wow, that's interesting? Because there's definitely some interesting moments on there, as with each of your albums.
I think we have had so strange, strange things or songs in the past, like especially in like early 2000, I think. So nothing is surprising to me
Yeah.
anymore.
Mm.
Kind of sort of stuff.
Yeah,
But of course, it's always like if you find good melodies and it's like you know the bangers, so to say, but not like musically or a stylistic music style that doesn't like surprise me anymore.
Mm. Mm.
yeah. I also think that it doesn't really feature anything that we haven't tried in the past. That it has all the same similar sort of familiar elements, and of course a little bit uh, some surprising elements too. But we have kind of explored all that in the
Yeah.
in the past years already. So yeah, as Tommy said, nothing really surprising. Obviously, there is some elements like uh, some stuff came out really simplistic. Perhaps in the studio we're fiddling around with some sort of beat ideas and stuff. To really make things more straightforward and stuff like that. But that's also not perhaps that sort of surprising to us either. But yeah, but overall, I think it's got a lot of variety rhythmically and musically and
Mm.
melodic wise. So which is kind of nice. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And I think this new album is even more like stripped down from the past albums because with Jens Bogren we used quite a lot like orchestral elements like
Yeah.
of the songs. But now there are some percussion stuff, but it's more like in the background and
Mm.
it's more like band oriented album. Even there is a layers, but as you said, we have like six guys, so there
Mm.
is stuff coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
And
also feel that it is more band driven, as Tommy said, and that's probably I feel like we maybe had a little bit more sort of musical artistic freedom to record. What comes to the production and the producer's input for the record. So we had more. At least I felt there was more sort of freedom to express ourselves, and he was just sort of guiding the project. As opposed to some other guys that they're really demanding producers and they want things in a certain way. But this
mm.
time it was a little bit different, and that kind of can be heard in the overall sound, and the output of the album is more sort of band oriented and a simplistic driven record.
Mm, mm. You can definitely hear that. And the production, and that's not to say that the production's bad by any measure either. It's quite a slick production. Um, so you guys felt that you had more input this time round in terms of being able to sort of shape the production side of it?
Well, it was just the working style is so different between
Yeah.
like Jens, Jacob, and I like both sides. Like
Mm,
I
mm,
like Jens, like his almost perfection. Like he's like trying to do the like perfect things, and he's very focusing to the small details.
mm,
In a way, it feels like relief when like there's like seventh member of the band like having a responsibility of some song. But this time we were expecting that kind of working as well, but then it was quite surprised that Jacob wasn't like that
mm,
strict, and I think he just created a good atmosphere, and yeah, it was but of course, it leave us like more to responsibility. Like
mm,
you have to know, of course, what to play. We did that with Jens as well, but I think Jens disagreed some of the ideas with us. Not big things, but just small
mm, mm.
details.
Just
Yeah,
those smaller
yeah,
details, yeah.
maybe a little bit different too, like for the pre-production side of the project. That with Jens we had pre-production, and he came to Finland in a rehearsal place, and we sort of mangled everything from beginning to the end. Like every part, there's a lot of swapping song structures and stuff like that, even
Mm,
key changes and all kinds of stuff, which is great. But maybe this time around, I think at least most of the songs were very well arranged already in the demo phase, so we
mm,
didn't necessarily. Jacob felt that he doesn't have to do all that sort
mm.
of basic pre-production, and that sort of maybe left us with more room to sort of come up with our own thing this time.
Awesome. And for each of you guys, who would you say maybe individually and as a group are your biggest influences, and have those changed, or are they pretty stable?
I think we all have like own things. There is just few bands you can play on a tour bus, which everybody are happy. Like you can play
Yeah.
Black Sabbath or AC/DC or
Yep.
Madonna, maybe. I don't know. It's just
Maybe
few bands.
maybe Iron Maiden. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, some of the guys who don't like the music, they are going to bed and like, okay, that's it for the night. But I think we all have like some same bands like Pink Floyd and of course
Mm.
all-time favorite Slayer and some
Mm.
of us are more into like metal, and some of us are more like into disco. I don't know, but I think it's just getting wider. Like
Mm.
when you get older, the musical taste it's not like changing, but it gets wider. Like
Broadening to new
yeah, yeah.
things. Yeah. Mm. What about you,
Yeah, but
Jen?
in the tour bus, you only have to play old classics, otherwise there's a lot of complaints. So you have to be
Yep.
very careful.
Yeah. You can
Funnily enough, with seven
ruin the
people on a
night.
tour bus. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be careful not to ruin the party.
Yeah. And with regards to the artwork, Van Hasteren, who did they've done Alcest, and just some beautiful artwork. And that's something else that I've noticed too from you guys is in recent years, especially it's almost like part of the evolution of your band has been that visual evolution too. Like the Borderlands artwork is just really fantastic detail. Um, and I also note that the some of the lyrics are actually written by Pekka, who had also done some art as well. So you guys have a bit of like external involvement there with the lyrics. Do you guys have any input with the lyrics, the themes? Is that kind of thrown around as a band, or is it more focused?
No, it's the lyrics are 100% done by Pekka Kainulainen, and
Mm,
he's been with us ever since Silent Waters. So
mm,
this is like seventh record already or something. So
mm,
he's been our lyricist for years now, and he just understands the world of Amorphis and like what we are all about, and his lyrics seem to fit really good. So we kind of felt there's no need to change that, at least not yet. So
yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I think
sorry, you go.
Tommy, the singer Tommy is working with him like some way, like having discussions like what kind of themes maybe there should be. But it's fun because the music and lyrics are coming like totally separate from each
Yeah.
other. So, and I think Tommy is the one who's picking the its lyrics to each song. So it's surprising how well they normally like limit or going together. It doesn't feel like they are separate
Mm,
uh, works in a way.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of surprising because they're originally written in Finnish and then they
mm,
get translated to English and then arranged to the music. So it's a huge process, and you would sometimes think it's almost impossible, but somehow they made it work every
mm,
time. It's kind
mm.
of mind blowing to me.
It's mind blowing to me. I mean, even from my experience being in bands, and most people with bands, it's either we can't write the music until we've done lyrics, da 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 da. It's a bit of a back and forth. but it's pretty rare to hear a band just have them as almost like two separate channels and then one, it's an interesting way of doing it. But does that kind of I'm guessing that would assist you guys too as a band, as a unit. You get to sort of focus on the music, on the songwriting, on the melodies, the harmonies, etc.
I think it's always been like that. Like when we are writing new stuff, it's at first it's like an instrumental song. And think it started in the very beginning when I was like singer, the crawling thing. So we just had a music, then we went to studio and like day before I started to record some vocals, I was checking like, I have to have some lyrics for this, and I started to choose which one is which, and it was like a secondary thing in a way.
Mm, mm,
Nowadays, it's not secondary thing, but it's still we still have that working style, like
mm,
doing the instrumental things first, as you
mm,
said.
Yeah, I
mm,
guess there's ways of doing things. There's many ways, and this is the way we do it. And it's not necessarily. I mean, for some people, it might work in the other fashion, and well, this is like Tommy said, is how we always done it, and it seems to work for us. But I mean, it could be different in any way, perhaps for others. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way of doing it, especially between seven people.
Mm.
Or
Yeah.
six, yeah.
And so with the album, so it's coming out in September, late September. But as well, I noticed that you guys are doing as part of your tour, you're actually doing a pretty big national tour back home of Finland from the 6th of December to the 1st of Jan. So you're doing quite a few dates in Finland as part of your tour.
Yeah, I think in Finland we have a good like fan base, and it's actually kind of tradition nowadays to have a Finnish tour in December, just before the Christmas. And I think that's just I don't know if we have ever planned that, but it's just I noticed that every December we are touring in Finland. But yeah, before that we are touring with our arch enemy in Europe, like 5 weeks. And of course, it's Arch Enemy's headlining tour, so our set cannot be that long. I think maybe 50 minutes, 1 hour. So after that, we are definitely heading to Europe by ourselves, like headlining as well. And I think USA and hopefully Australia. We don't have any like uh, confirmations yet, I guess, unless
I'm
Jan knows.
sure
No, I
because
don't think so. Yeah, it's on the table, but there's offers and stuff. But I don't think any dates are confirmed yet. But it's most likely to happen, I guess, next year. Yeah.
awesome. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm sure the listeners will be too. And just sort of before we wrap things up, guys, I'm curious because I mean, Amorphis has been going in various forms, and you guys have been very stable members for, huge part of, well, what is it? What are we up to now, guys? How long is 1990 to now? That's
35.
30.
Yeah,
What
it's
kind
still.
of what helps keep it fresh for you guys? Because you mentioned that you've got like a very regular touring cycle. You've got a lot of things that are, I'm guessing, sort of, help in terms of stability. But what helps keep it fresh for you as a band this far in? Because it's a long time.
Yeah, it
I think
certainly is. Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I mean, personally, I mean, I love making music, and this is this is what we do, and we are lucky enough to be able to do this professionally.
Mm,
This, I couldn't be more happy about the situation that I'm able to do this. So, I sort of can't wait to get on the studio and on tour. And obviously, there's times that you will miss your family and your friends and your sort of normal life, but that's how it is. And there has to be sacrifices has to be made. So,
mm,
but yeah, overall, like I'm I'm happy to be able to do this, and I couldn't really, figure myself doing anything else really. So
Mm, mm,
And as a band, I think one thing is like we decided like 30 plus years ago that we want to make music what like makes us happy. I mean, we don't
yeah,
have to stick too much in some genres or something. So if something feels good and feels right to do to ourselves, then we do it. So and of course we're very good friends, of course, as well. Like I think some of the bands today, if I look, there can be like session musicians, and I think
mm,
they just meet each other's like in on stage or something, and then they have
yeah.
a life. But I still think we are like very good friends, and we have like fun together, and it doesn't feel like a job, even if it is, but it still feels like a passion, more like working.
Awesome. Well, here's to you guys playing and releasing albums right through to retirement age, and you'll be up on stage in wheelchairs one day with your
Hopefully,
50th album out.
yeah.
yeah,
All right, thank you so much, guys. I won't keep you too much longer because I'm sure you've got more interviews. Really looking forward to the response to the new album, Borderlands, and I can confirm it's a banger. Bang up job again, guys. So great work, and enjoy your summer break before your run of touring.
Thank you
thanks
very
for
much.
having
Hope to
me.
see
No
you.
worries. Okay, thank you, guys. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.